All right, guys, yesterday I gave you guys an extra credit question about our slimatosis. But before we get to that, let's talk about makeup work. Again, end of the 9 weeks is Friday. So I'm going to give you guys the weekend to do any makeup work that you guys need to get caught up on. Mythbusters is still open. You can still go do that. Identifying the parts of the scientific method is due tonight at midnight, but I'm going to leave it open for the weekend. Those are going to be the last 2 grades this 9 weeks, so make sure that you do those. You get a good grade on them. You use them to pull your grade up. Again, there's a lot of people who are on that line between letter grades, A, B, B, C, D, F. So make sure you guys are doing this stuff and you guys pull your grades up, okay? So yesterday I asked you what was the problem with SpongeBob's experiment and what should his conclusion be? And just about everybody that submitted the extra credit question got it partially right, if not all the way right. SpongeBob can't have a conclusion. And the reason he can't have a conclusion is because he doesn't know what cured the slimatosis. And the reason he doesn't know what cured the slimatosis is because he used both treatments on Gary at the same time. So we don't know if the seaweed rub cured the slimatosis, or if it was the Dr. Kelp, or if it was the combination of the two. So what we needed to do was have 2 different snails with slimatosis. So if we have 2 different snails and they both have slimatosis, but we keep them the same, so they have about the same amount of slimatosis, they're the same species of snail, they have the same diet, they have the same cleaning regimen and all that stuff. And the only thing that was different is the seaweed and Dr. Kelp. Then we'll know which one worked. Maybe we could add a 3rd group where they get both treatments and we can see if both treatments cured up faster, okay? But because he did the same treatments on the same snail at the same time, there's no way to draw a conclusion. We don't know which one worked, okay? So we're gonna have another question today. All right, so let me get it up here. We're going to kind of change gears a little bit. I'm going to go with the Simpsons. So let me get this centered. Okay, so we're going to go with the Simpsons here. It says, Smithers thinks that a special juice will increase the productivity of workers. He creates 2 groups of 50 workers each and assigns each group the same task. In this case, they're supposed to staple a set of papers. Group A is given the special juice to drink while they work. Group B is not given the special juice. After an hour, Smithers counts how many stacks of papers each group has made. Group A made 1,587 stacks. Group B made 2,113 stacks. Okay, so here in Smithers' experiment, let me find my marker. We need to identify the different parts of the scientific method. So, first thing I like to always think of is how many groups do we have? All right. So we have 2 groups, right? We have 2 groups of 50 workers, and they even kind of label them for us here, make it a little bit easier. We have Group A and Group B. So, what is the one thing that's different about Group A and Group B? That's going to be our independent variable. All right. So independent variable. The one thing that's different about our test groups, and in this case, it's whether they drink special juice while they work or they don't drink special juice while they work. So our independent variable is special juice. Okay? So one group Group A gets the special juice. Group B does not get the special juice. All right, yesterday our experiment did not have a control group. There was no control group because there was no normal conditions to cure slimatosis, okay? This one does have a control group. So our control group, our basis for comparison. So we need to be able to compare what normal conditions are like so we can tell if the special juice is working, okay? So our control group is going to be group B, the group that is not given the special juice. That's normal conditions. So control group here is going to be group B, no juice, okay? So let's talk about Smithers' hypothesis. We kind of skipped that. Smithers thinks that special juice will increase productivity of workers. That's his hypothesis. So this is his hypothesis. So special juice, again, if we made this an if-then statement, if we give workers special juice, independent variable, then it will increase their productivity. So we already know what our dependent variable is, it's productivity, but how are we going to measure productivity? So in Smithers' experiment here, he is going to have them, each group do the same task. In this case, they're supposed to staple sets of papers, and they're going to count the stacks of papers. So our dependent variable is going to be number of stapled stacks. All right, what should Smithers' conclusion be? Well, based on his model, all right, let's look here. Group A. Group A is our special juice group, our independent variable, and they only made 1,587 stacks. Group B, on the other hand, who did not get special juice, 2,113 stacks. So based on Smithers' model, special juice does not work. So the special juice in Smithers' model, or his experiment, does not increase productivity, okay? So obviously the question Smithers was trying to answer is how to increase productivity. He came up with the hypothesis if we gave them special juice, it'll increase productivity. He did an experiment where he gave one group the independent variable, which was a special juice. Another group he did not give any juice because he needed a basis for comparison. That's his control group. The way he measured productivity is he numbers the number of stapled stacks each group did, and his result is, now here's the problem. In Smithers' experiment, there is bias. And we talked a lot about bias way back in our first unit. Okay, bias is when you kind of show favoritism towards one or another. Lots of times we don't even know that we're being biased, okay? Smithers' experiment, he doesn't realize he's being biased here. So he doesn't, he set this experiment up and he's trying to get good results, but there's bias in his model, okay? So here is your extra credit assignment for today. I need you to email it to me, okay? What is the bias that is in Smithers' experiment, and how could we make this experiment better to remove the bias? All right, so let me say that again. How is Smithers' experiment here biased? How is it favoring one of these groups over the other? And how could we redo this experiment and improve it to eliminate the bias? All right, so that's your challenge. Again, Sunday's it. Friday's the end of 9 weeks. I'm actually giving you 2 more days than what I'm supposed to. Okay, so make sure you get all this stuff done, all turned in. Make sure you get a good grade on it. Hopefully I'll see our non-virtual students back here Monday face to face. Hint, 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 you might want to know the 7 steps of the scientific method in order when you guys get back on Monday. Virtual students, you might want to know it too on Monday. Hint, hint, hint. All right, so you guys get your work done, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Monday.